And then you created Waze on 42, right?
Yeah, I started in 2007 when I was.
And
40.
how the idea came up? When the idea came up, the Waze was already as it is today, or it started as something very different and it started to evolve during the time?
So the main thing remains exactly the same, right? So the vision that we had is of crowdsourcing traffic information, right? So the most important part is that the driver ahead of you on the road, they know something that is really, really important for you. And for them, it doesn't matter anymore, right? They stuck in traffic, you want to know that, right? And my eureka moment was somewhere in 2006 that I realized that really what I need is someone to be ahead of me on the road to tell me what's going on. But it was only in 2007 that I met my other two co-founders that we decided that this is what we're going to do. And the interesting part, Waze crowdsource everything, not just traffic information and speed cams, but the map data itself. So that was the magic of Waze. We crowdsource everything. And we started in 2007. We built the first prototype running on a PDA. Remember, long time ago,
PDA is like a kind of cell phone.
It was before the cell phones, right? It was like a very ancient tablet that was before the smartphones even, and we built the first version on that, and we.
Just a second. When you say we built, it was like you were one of the people
I didn't.
coding.
Even though that I used to be software engineer, my last line of code was checked in somewhere in 1996, right? So in 2007, I already forgot most of it.
Ah, understood.
But the other two co-founders, they were the technical people, and they were the one that actually built.
But a quick question here. Do you think our background on studying coding and all of that when you were younger helped you to at least manage the team, or it was irrelevant?
So the experience that you gain is always relevant. Whether or not the experience is in the technological side or not doesn't make any difference, right? So I would imagine that you don't have software engineer background and you still built your company and it seems to be very successful, right? So it's not necessarily that the technological background is the one that helps you to become successful, but the overall experience does, right? Whatever the overall experience is, this is a lot.
Okay. So you started Waze, and one thing you told me is very important, because the crowdsourcing information is the core and remain the core through the development of the application.
Yes.
But what is the journey like? I mean, you started thinking big, or you started with this little idea that had some excitement for you? Did you imagine it was supposed to be so big as it is today?
So we did, right? Because we knew that we are trying to solve a very big problem, right? Traffic jams is a big problem, and it's a big problem everywhere, right? And usually startup that starts in Israel, they think global from the first day, right? Because Israel is a small place. And one of the challenges of the ecosystem here in Brazil is that you don't think global from the first day. You think about the Brazilian market, which is big. And then you end up with limited ability to growth once you utilize once you become a market leader in the Brazilian market. Growing outside of the market is then become harder. So you don't see a lot of global leaders coming out of Brazil, but you do see global leaders coming out of Israel or other small places, right? So small places have an advantage of thinking global from the first day. So we thought that this is what we're going to do. But the vision that we had initially is that we're going to help people to avoid traffic jams. This is not the most significant value of Waze today. If you would ask people, they will tell you that creating certainty is the most significant value. You know how long it's going to take you to get there. That's it. The fact that there is no faster way, it doesn't make any difference. You know how long.
Yeah. This applies to myself. When I enter in the car, even though I know the way, I need to put the address in the Waze. If I don't, I started to become anxious.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
You know, it's funny. When I was here to launch Waze in Brazil in 2010, I was scheduling multiple meetings, and everyone would ask me, okay, where do you stay? We will come to your hotel because there is no way that you can come to our office. And then I would ask them when. And they will tell me in the morning, because you're unable to plan and to know exactly how long it's going to take you. One of the most important features of Waze is to actually the ability to ask Waze, how long will it take me to get there, or find me the best route, not right now, later on in the afternoon or tomorrow or Monday morning or whatever. And then you can plan. And the funny part is that, Marcial, my publisher from Citadel, is here, and he didn't know about this feature. I only told him about it yesterday, right? And so it turns out to be what I believe one of the most important features in Brazil, because the ability to plan and know how long it's going to take you on a future ride adds a lot to the business community. And if there are people that don't know that, then they should.
Sure, now they do.
Now they
do. And a quick question: you started Waze, and it was a very successful journey, because we know already what happened in the end of your journey on Waze. So it's a very successful journey. But when you started this journey, and a lot of people here that watches me are usually starting a journey, or they are during a journey. Some of them was more successful, some of them facing some tough situations. But did you have something like a business plan when you started? Did you have like the business model known before starting? What did you have before, and what changed during the journey?
So I knew everything before, and everything changed.
Okay.
That's really easy. Look, this is really important to understand. I can define the journey of building a startup into 3 dimensions, right? So one of them we spoke about, the journey of failures, right? Mm-hmm. It's also a roller coaster journey with ups and downs and ups and downs. And if you will tell me that all the businesses in the world have ups and downs, I agree. But the frequency of those when you are building startup, way more. Could be a few times a day, right? I think that I heard the best quote on that from Ben Horowitz. Ben Horowitz is one of the founders of Andreessen Horowitz venture capital firm. And before that, he used to be a CEO of a startup. And he was asked whether or not he was sleeping well at night as a CEO of a startup. He said, oh yeah, I slept like a baby. I woke up every 2 hours and cried, right? And so this is the reality of the roller coaster journey. But it's also a very long journey. And the longest part is until you figure out product market fit. Mm-hmm. And product market fit is really simple. That means that you create value to your customers. Mm-hmm. If you don't figure out product market fit, you will die. That's the most important part of all the businesses in the world, that you need to create value to your customers. If you don't, you will die. Mm-hmm. So we define, and by the way, product market fit have one metric: retention. That's really simple. If you create value, they will come back. That's it. If they are not coming back, that means that you are not creating value. Right? So for a second, I want us to think of maybe all the applications that you're using everywhere, right? So Waze and WhatsApp and Uber and Netflix and searching Google and whatever it is. And ask yourself, what is the difference between any of those today and the first time that you have used that? And the answer is that there is no difference. We are using Waze today the same way that we used Waze for the first time in our life. We are searching Google the same way that we search Google for the first time in our life. So once a company figure out their product market fit, they don't change that anymore. That's the value that they bring to their customers. They don't change that anymore. What we don't know is how long did it take them, right? Because beforehand, we never heard about it. Mm-hmm. For Waze, it was 4 years. People in Brazil started to use Waze in 2011. We started in 2007. 4 years until we became good enough that people would actually use Waze, right? For Microsoft, it was 5 years, right? For Netflix, it was 10 years. Mm-hmm. Now, if you'll tell me today everything is different because of AI and ChatGPT just started, no, they're almost 8 years old already, right? So it took them 6 years until we heard the name for the first time in our life. Creating value, figuring out product market fit, because it's a roller coaster journey, long journey and journey of failure, takes time for all the successful companies. And those that did not, they simply died. That's it. We started, as I told you, in 2007. Then we tried to raise capital. That took us 9 months. Now you'll say, okay, wait a minute, but Israel have a lot of venture capital firm. Yeah, and still was 9 months, right?
O maior evento de educação financeira do mundo está chegando, é isso mesmo, FinDay 2024, dia 19 de outubro, serão mais de 10 horas de conteúdo, grandes nomes do mercado, temos Thiago Nigro, Bruno Perini, Guilherme Bentimol, Flávio Augusto, Clóvis de Barros, Paulo Guedes, Felipe Spritzer, Cristina Junqueira, ou seja, um baita de um evento para você curtir o dia inteiro. Serão mais de 25 mil pessoas numa plenária gigante, no maior evento que o Grupo Primo já fez. E para você fazer parte disso, vou deixar aqui um link na descrição e você também pode seguir o Instagram FinDay_Grupo Primo para você ficar por dentro de todas as informações, tirar suas dúvidas e tudo mais, beleza? Espero você lá.